Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's episode is for quite a few of you who are attorneys, accountants, engineers, medical professionals, people that work in a highly regulated, compliant-driven industry, okay? Because here's the thing. I have talked to many professional services providers over the years. Again, people just like you name it. And one thing that comes up over and over and again is I work in a highly regulated business. How do I market myself without getting in trouble? I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to get out there, you know? And the problem with that is you're leaving money on the table if you're not getting yourself out there, and there's ways to go about doing it. I work with a lawyer. Okay, we're not giving legal advice on social media and that kind of thing, but we're educating our audiences on what it is that we feel like is going to be, best impactful and helpful for them, what we're hearing our clients talk about. And they need to hear, some information and guidance on. We're not giving specific advice, okay? So with that being said, there are 4 things I really want to cover in today's episode. We're going to make this down and dirty, quick and easy for you. But first things first, you've got to understand your industry's regulations, okay? The first step in managing your marketing message, the words that you say, whether it be in social media, email, even out in public, when you're in networking events and that kind of thing, you've got to understand the regulations that apply to your industry, right? So this includes rules around advertising, marketing, promoting your services. You've got to find someone, if you work in a firm or even if you're a solo, you do some networking, find someone who knows these rules inside and out and leverage their help to help you stay out of trouble. Okay, so number 1, understand your industry's regulations. Number 2, and this is a biggie, and I say this for every stinking industry, and it is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I swear I point people out on this all the time, but drop the industry jargon and acronyms in your marketing and your messaging, folks. Like, drop it. Okay, if you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, and there's certain, words and vernacular that you use on a daily basis, don't assume that your client knows, okay? And I have had some pushback from people going, well, my client, is the CFO of this company, and they work in this language all the time anyway. Okay, that may be the case. But I'm also going to tell you this too. We are all very busy people. We all have a million different hats that we're wearing. I can tell you, okay, when I was chief of public affairs for the state superintendent of public instruction in Oklahoma, I would get emails all the time from people within my building, even outside of the State Department too, who would email me and they'd reference acronyms or whatever like that, certain meetings and things going on. And even though technically I knew what that acronym meant, I'm sifting through 100 emails in a 2-hour period of time. I'm like, okay, what was that again? And then I had to go look it up and just to remind myself. So make it easy on your people. Just spell it out. Make it easy. They're sifting through 100 emails a minute, just like you are. And so when we throw around industry jargon and those acronyms, we confuse people. And let me tell you, when you confuse people and they have to stop and they have to take a minute to figure out what the heck it is that you're saying, we lose people. So when you confuse, you lose. And we don't want to lose business. We don't want to lose a potential sale. We want to seal the deal. And we do that by dropping those words and acronyms that frankly are just, we have to take a moment to pause and stop and go, okay, what was that again? We don't want our clients to do that. Okay, we want to make it easy for us to communicate with them. And that means, again, dropping the industry jargon and those acronyms in your marketing and in your messaging. Okay. And again, when I say messaging, I'm talking about when you're sitting across a table from someone and you're having a conversation, we need to drop the industry words and acronyms. Okay. This isn't just about in your emails or in your in your social media posts that you put out there on the internet, right? This is the daily driver type stuff. Okay. So I want you to drop all that crap and I want you to spell it out for people. I promise you, you will make their lives easier. Okay. Okay, so that was 2. Number 3, I want you to avoid making claims that you cannot support. It is crucial to avoid making claims that you just can't back up with evidence, all right? You've got to make sure that any claims that you make about your service are supported by facts, data, or other credible sources, okay? Facts, data, other credible sources, you got to back it up. So avoid making claims that you cannot support. Okay. And the fourth one, and this is a biggie too. And this is really for, again, if you're in a compliance-based industry, you've got to listen to this. You've got to maintain records of all of your marketing materials. It's important to keep detailed records of all of these things to show compliance with regulations if needed. In other words, this is the CYA bonus tip for you. We want to cover your butt on this one. So keep record of that. And again, on social media, you're going to have that because you've got record of it sitting there on your platform, right? But if you have any printed ads, if you have any printed messages, if you have anything out there that somebody could possibly want to question you about in the future, make sure that you keep a copy of it. All right. So let's just kind of review the top four. Number one, understand your industry's regulations. Okay. Just have a general idea as to what's allowed and what's not allowed. All right. Number two, drop those industry jargon words and acronyms because you're confusing people. When you confuse, you lose. All right. Number three, avoid making claims that you cannot support. And number four, maintain records. Like just do it, just like we do with our taxes. Like you've got to maintain records of all of your marketing materials. So those are the four things that you can do if you're in a highly regulated, compliance-based industry. We've got to keep those things in mind as we're working on your marketing and your messaging. So just think about it, okay? And think about how you can incorporate that. Because here's the thing, if you're not marketing yourself, if you're not talking about what you do, if you're not talking about the lessons learned and sharing information with your audience to help them, they don't know you exist. And so we have got to take a hot minute to go, all right, I've got to get myself out there. I've got to keep that client pipeline full, and this is how we do it. All right, that's it for this week. See you next time.